Hi guys, Tory Brexiteers have done more for a united Ireland than the IRA could have ever achieved in 30 years. Tory Unionists have done more to promote an independent Scotland, more than the SNP could ever have hoped for. So when it comes to trashing the reputation of the British Armed Forces, it isn't left-wing peaceniks like Jeremy Corbyn that the military have to worry about, it's the Conservatives. Now, apart from running the armed forces into the ground over 14 years, Tory candidate for leader Robert Jenrick delivered one of the biggest insults yet to how soldiers operate within international law. And then have a listen to this desperate attempt to backpedal.
You did say our special forces are killing rather than capturing terrorists. So you think or know that's happening now?
Well, Ben Wallace, as you rightly quote, said that there are...
This is about what you say. You said yesterday
I'm
our special forces are killing rather than capturing terrorists.
Yes, the point that I was making, very much like our former Defence Secretary was making, is that as a result of the constraints imposed upon our armed forces by the ECHR,
we are killing rather than capturing terrorists. Do you know this has happened or this is happening now? Because you stated it in very bold terms in that video.
Well, the point that Ben Wallace was making, if I may just elaborate, was that there are instances where the ECHR is forcing or leading the decision makers to take lethal action. You could have said that in your video. For example, by calling in... Let me just finish the point. It's an important one.
But this is what
by
you
calling
said
in a drone
video.
Strike.
You reduced that to a very specific and stark phrase. You said our special forces are killing rather than capturing terrorists.
Mishal,
I just want to be clear.
I think
those were your words in that
Mishal,
video.
I think
Do you know that is
This
happening?
is a very serious and stark situation.
Is this
because,
happening?
for example,
are our special forces doing this right now?
Well, there are, as Ben Wallace has said in that interview, decision makers are being asked to make decisions which they might not ordinarily make. For example, to call in a drone strike and take lethal action in that way, rather than a surgical action where special forces might go in on the ground. Are you accusing our
special forces now? You use the present tense. Are you accusing them of killing rather than capturing terrorists? Why did you say these words?
I'm defending our armed forces. What I don't want to see is our human rights apparatus impacting the ability of our armed forces to take the most sensible decisions for their own safety and for the safety of the British public.
More carefully in this
No, I don't agree.
So you stand by the words that our special forces are killing
I don't agree,
Mishal.
The point I was making was absolutely correct and is backed up by the interview that was given by our former Defence Secretary.
You can't back up now that our special forces are killing rather than capturing terrorists.
Well, Mishal, of course I'm not going to elaborate on particular cases because these cases are not things that any minister or former minister can speak.
It's great that there are journalists like this one to hold these people, these charlatans, to account. You're insulting the British Armed Forces here, insulting them, presenting them as ruthless killers, running roughshod over human rights. And they're doing so because they have to follow instructions from the European Convention on Human Rights. When you start off from a position that we need to get rid of the European Convention on Human Rights, what you're going to do is you're going to look around for something to support that claim that is necessary to get out. When it comes to immigration, well, we can't send people back to their home countries because of the European Convention on Human Rights. So we need to leave that in order to bring down immigration numbers. It's a lie. Now he's suggesting that the armed forces are being instructed to kill people instead of actually taking them prisoner. That's another lie. But he's not interested in telling the truth because he's a charlatan. All he wants to do is become leader of the Conservative Party, and he'll lie through his teeth, he'll misinform, and he'll do whatever necessary to achieve that goal. And he needs to be called out on it. And it's great that there are real journalists at the BBC who are willing to do that. But you notice during the interview, he kept looking down. He didn't look at the reporter, the journalist. He didn't look at the camera. He kept looking down because he knows he's lying. He knows he's been dishonest. He put out this slogan. He put out this claim, not expecting to actually have to defend it or hoping not to defend it. And when he's challenged, he can't defend it. Notice he kept going back to Ben Wallace. Well, Ben Wallace said this, Ben Wallace said that. No, if Ben Wallace wants to defend that position, then Ben Wallace can go on TV or go on the BBC and defend that position. You can't use what Ben Wallace said. You're running to be leader of the Conservative Party and potentially a future Prime Minister. You're being dishonest with the public. You're running roughshod over the reputation of the British Armed Forces. This is extremely insulting to any soldiers or any special forces watching this or listening to this. They know they have to operate within certain conditions. They know they have to respect international law. But to suggest that they're being instructed by a convention to do the wrong thing as opposed to the right thing is insulting in a way that I can't even describe. It's insulting to the convention. It's insulting to British history because of Britain's role in writing the convention. And of course, it's extremely insulting to the British Armed Forces, who try, maybe and many times don't succeed, but try to live up to a certain standard. What a charlatan. He's willing to throw everyone, including the army, under a bus in order to become leader of the Conservative Party. He doesn't deserve to have a seat in Parliament, never mind be the leader of the opposition or eventually Prime Minister. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.